It's our first day and we had a good night, but we're in Llandrindod Wells and we've parked at the side of a road and the view from the van is pretty good. So we're just about to head off. Teddy is in the co-pilot seat. Richard's driving. Makes a nice change for me. So yeah, I'll show you around where we parked. So I've got the sound of sausages sizzling behind me. So yeah, we had a lovely day yesterday. We arrived here quite early in the morning, about 11 o'clock I think it was. And because yesterday was Sunday, the town of Llanidloes was like a ghost town. I think it was only the spa, was it just the spa that was open? And yeah, really lovely town. But we've been here before, a year ago. And we saw it in the daytime, and it is quite a bustly town and lots of independent shops, which is really nice to see. So yesterday it was more looking at the buildings and the history of the area, and the town itself has got very little UPVC. I think it's conservation area, because it looks as though it hasn't changed since 1890 or wherever. And there's lots of lovely houses here that are quite tall, and apparently that was because there was a big flannel industry in this area, and these houses would have the workers living below, and then they'd go upstairs to the loft and do all their hand weaving. So that was quite interesting. So today, unexpectedly, it's sunny. We weren't expecting sun, so it's a bit of a bonus. So we're going to see if we can find Hafren Forest, because you can have some nice walks through the forest. I would love to do a bit of a hike. I think it's about, did I say 8 miles round trip? Because you can walk from the forest up to the source of the Severn. And as you know, I love planning lots of walks, doing very little of them, but I would like to walk the Severn. So at least if we tick the start of it off. Yeah, because it's like a peat bog up there apparently, so within a few miles then it becomes this raging river, because Llanidloes isn't far away from the source, and already here it's quite a big river. So yeah, that's the plan for today, after our sausage baps. So we're at Hafren Forest, lovely parking area, no overnight parking sign up of course, so we're gonna see if we can make it to the source of the Severn, but either way, lovely place just to come and park up for the day. And I'm going to make sure, because I got bitten yesterday and I do tend to get bitten, so I'm going to cover myself with this before we go. So we made it to Blaenhafren Falls, which are very lovely. So the Severn is still pretty powerful. So we're about halfway up to the source of the Severn, but I think we've come to the conclusion that we're not going to attempt the full walk today, mainly because of Teddy. She loves a walk, but she doesn't do well in the heat, and it is quite warm. So we think by the time we walk back to the car, she's going to be needing a rest. So that's the decision. But we will come back and do it another time, because it's absolutely lovely. And I think we passed one dog walker, haven't we? So it's been really quiet and really lovely. Two cheeseburgers, a hot dog with onions and a coffee, please. So we're at Cloderwen Reservoir. I'm not quite sure how, I haven't actually looked at the word spelt yet, but really lovely. Just done the Havering Forest walk, so we just pulled up to admire the view. I've never been to the Scottish Lochs, but I imagine it's a bit like this. Good afternoon. It is Tuesday and we have moved from Llanidloes to Welshpool, and it's really stormy and we're in this car park and we've basically battened down the hatches. We've been for a walk this afternoon to explore the town, so we've seen a little bit of that and a nice canal. But we're in this car park, we're pretty much the only ones here. It's free to park overnight and it was £4 to stay here all day. And yeah, it's really horrible this evening. It's really windy. I just hope we're going to be okay here because there are some trees around that are blowing like mad. But I guess if it gets really bad we can move the van. So yeah, all that's been left to do really is cook tea. So there is a nice Morrison's in town. So I'm cooking up some pasta with roast veg, and we bought one of those garlic flatbreads that I'm just warming up, and we're going to have pine nuts and some cheese over the top. Good morning. So we're at Wednesday morning and we're still in Welshpool at the moment. It's, what time is it? Just about 9 o'clock, is it? 9:15. And it was really blustery yesterday evening. So we had dinner and then, that sounds very posh, didn't it? We had pasta for tea and we watched a film then in bed. We catched up, and Teddy is still tired after all her walks the day before yesterday. So yeah, we just had a nice relaxing evening. The wind died down in the early hours, so it was a fairly peaceful night. But you can see all the branches blown down off the trees, fortunately small little twigs and branches, so nothing dramatic. So we've just had some breakfast and we're going to move on south today, and I'm going to find, there's a few options we've got for park ups, so we're going to see which one looks the most appealing. And we're in a car park here in Welshpool. Just behind the car park there are the grounds of Powys Castle, so it's looks really lovely, and there is a footpath, so we're going to take a little stroll, take Teddy out if she let us. We're going to see if we can find Powys Castle. A little van in the background. Morning's exercise, first walk of the day.
Bearing.
This place reminds me of the Ladybird Book of Trees. Every specimen you can imagine here, but unfortunately we can't go any closer to the castle because there's no dogs allowed through this gate. So unfortunately I'm gonna have to turn back. And good morning from Clean. I think it's pronounced Clean or it's Clun. We've just dropped into Shropshire and we arrived here yesterday afternoon, and we've got we arrived in this car park quite early and it was full up, so we went off somewhere else and then came back later in the evening when it was much quieter here. So we managed to get a lovely spot right beside the river, so I'll show you around. This is the spot we had for our van. Not too shabby at all. So lovely little picnic area, toilet block here. They're shut overnight but they're opened up in the morning. A little bridge over there then which leads to Clean Castle, which we had a look around yesterday afternoon. Well, it's Thursday evening and the last day of our little trip. Sadly, we've had a really nice time, haven't we? Yeah. So we're going to go home tomorrow, but we're in Ludlow. We left Clun or Clean this morning, and since we arrived in Ludlow, we had a quick walk around the town and the castle, which are really lovely, and then it just started pouring with rain. So we've been confined to the van pretty much all afternoon, but that's been nice and relaxing really. And about an hour ago, it dried up. Stopped raining at least anyway, so we went out for a walk. Really lovely castle, quite intact it looks, and the shops had shut, so it was nice and quiet, so we had a little wander around the old lanes there as well. So we're back at the van now. It's about 7 o'clock. Richard's cooking us a nice chilli for tea, so it all smells rather lovely. I will take you around to show you tonight's view. We did think we were going to get moved last night because we were watching a film and a van turned up with orange flashing lights. But we think it was the natural resources checking the river level, because it did get quite high last night, so we had one eye on that. But they drove off and left us, so all was well.